process.
Yeah.
So, what is this that you sent me, Matt? David
I
Killam?
mean, I don't know. We don't have to talk about that. I was just looking at the thread.
Oh, okay.
He's calling out my strategy.
Oh,
What's he
well,
saying?
I don't know who needs to hear this, a lot of
So
you,
it's you.
but taking advantage of the Electoral College, which should be abolished, to not taint yourself voting for the candidate you admit you want to win, is also taking advantage of millions of people in your state who just suck it up.
This is stupid.
Fuck you, man. Like, how many people in the state are, like, have a principled leftist opposition?
I
to
find
Biden?
this stupid.
Most people are just shit libs, and they vote for the shit lib candidate. No problem. Like,
I dislike that.
it's a dumb argument. It's just shaming. It's like
It's
the
just-
definition of vote shaming.
Right,
It's
it's
not
just
even
sort of
wait,
idle.
but
It's just
Matt,
sort of
he
idle
says
and
very
isolated.
clearly
It's
right
not
here
part
that
of
he's
a-
not vote
Exactly.
shaming.
Exactly. It's not part of a systematic whole, strategically or
It's
otherwise.
not
It's
even
just like,
pretending
oh,
to
this
be
thought popped into my head and it
strategic,
shits on somebody who I dislike.
Yeah.
It doesn't really get us anywhere. It doesn't really say much.
No, it doesn't. That's not like this.
No
not,
offense, David.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
he's
You
not
could
fucking
explain
listening.
it to me more.
No, it's not even pretending to be a strategic argument. When
Yeah.
shit libs whine about this stuff, they're like, oh, we need to defeat.
But
Donald
like here,
Trump.
maybe
Like,
we
you're
cut him a little
helping
slack.
Trump.
Maybe this is
Blah,
like
blah,
the
blah.
first draft, second draft stuff, right?
No,
Maybe
I know.
later he'll realize, oh yeah, that didn't
No, I
want
know
me
who
to
he
do
is.
that. No,
He knows
this is
exactly what he's
considered-
doing.
All right,
This is
well
what he's
then,
doing.
all right,
He's trying
then
to shame
fuck you,
us
David.
by saying,
Provisionally.
I know what
I'll
you're
still hear
doing.
you out,
I see
if
you.
are
And
inclined.
I'm saying I think it's bullshit that you're going to make everybody else in your state debase
Right.
themselves and you're not. But like I said, I don't think that's really an issue.
This is just confusion, like of categories talking about like moral purity in a place that
Like
I
I
don't think it
said,
really belongs.
the shit libs at least pretend that it's oh, your vote's going to count for X, Y, and Z reason.
Right.
You know, they say like, oh, we need to run up the score in the popular vote so he doesn't try to steal it. That's the Sam Cedar
This
argument.
is a hilarious
Yeah.
shit lib vote thing that I want to
I
show
mean,
you. If we share it, we
That's
shouldn't.
the Sam Cedar argument is we need to have a massive blowout in the popular vote so we can't even pretend to steal it.
Right.
Which is a decent argument, I guess.
So I
but
hope.
I don't think, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily a worthwhile argument. Like, and I don't really care.
You'll like this.
I don't have a problem. I don't think that. Not that I'm even like so attached to one of the other parties. I just don't see why I should have to. You know, I don't. You know, it's not like it's going to move the needle.
Just
Like,
there's so many different
like I
levels
said.
on which to analyze this, like looking purely at the outcome of this election, but also looking more broadly, you know, in 4 years, you know, and otherwise, like looking at effects on American political discourse, on American, you know, political
It's
the
a
development
protest
of our parties,
vote,
and there's all sorts of things to consider. So like maybe one carries the day, yeah, but it doesn't mean there aren't valid considerations elsewhere.
I don't know. I could just write in Hillary Clinton.
Yeah,
That's the other
are
option.
you still with her?
Yeah, I'm still with her.
Well, just to go back and be fair to David here, he says he's not voter shaming Matt, so, but
Oh well, with all due respect,
This is specifically voter shaming. Though.
I'm not racist, but.
yeah, but I look
Um,
for me. Look, I already voted. I voted for Holly Hawkins. Yeah, I'm not feeling.
In Texas?
Yeah, I'm not feeling terribly regretful about that.
You think Texas is out of play, or you don't care?
I don't care. I'm not gonna go and sign my name to whatever policies on either side of them. So
That's fair, man.
That-
I
that's just my-
understand
that's
people
just
who
my
are like, I
stance.
cannot vote for Biden. I understand it, absolutely.
yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, look, I cast my vote for Hillary in 2016, and then now every time I think about that, I fucking regret it. And then every time a fucking Hillary story comes up where she comes
I don't think
back,
I regret it.
and
No,
she,
I stand by that vote.
for me, like
You're still
she-
with her.
for, like,
No,
when-
I wouldn't make a strong case for that. I wouldn't make half as strong a case for that one as for this one, but I don't think I regret it per se.
I mean, for me though,
I
like,
saw it for what it was. I was like, fuck.
one of the things that popped up was just recently was Hillary on her documentary talking about Bernie, and
Oh
saying,
my
I feel
God.
so bad. People bought into that, and
Bitchy narcissist. Like,
Right,
come
and
on.
and then for me, as someone that voted for Hillary, I look at that and I'm like, I'm signed my name to this person. This is the person I chose to be in office. This narcissistic, I'm not gonna say it, but yeah. And I'm not gonna go and want to carry that shit around with me when it comes to Biden, with the terrible shit that I know he's gonna end up doing.
Right.
You know? So that's the difference for me from 2016 and now. And I don't think I'm gonna regret voting green this time. But yeah.
What do you say? What do you say to people who take like an absolute non-voting stance? Like any vote is to sully yourself.
No, I mean I respect that too. If you decide that you just can't buy into the system because it's so debased and you're not going to be a part of it, then go for it.
Yeah,
That's your right. As much as your right
yeah.
is to vote blue, to vote red, to vote green, whatever you're
I
gonna
think
do.
on this stuff, as a lot of things, that there should be like maybe we should try to fight about it a little less and have some sort of like, look, I make my decisions. I don't make other people's. Like I might strongly disagree with the way they feel about this stuff, but like I probably can't change them on it. So I should just figure out like, all right, we got this chunk of the left who's going to not vote. We got this chunk of the left who's going to vote third party. We got this chunk of the left who's going to vote them. We got this chunk of the left who's going to do whatever. And like you figure out what you think is best for you.
Mhm.
Don't stress yourself out about those other chunks. They are going to be there.
Right. But see, by that same token, I think there's a lot of people out there that don't vote or aren't going to vote this time around that if you put the right candidate out there will.
And that's fine. That's fine. I'm saying, yeah, we got to accept that reality about the left that these different practices and views will persist. And like, yeah, we can disagree about it, and we can each of us should try to figure out what we think is best or most right or whatever categories we're using.
Mhm.
But we shouldn't stress too much about the persistence of those disagreements. Like that's gonna be there.
Yeah. So, but the only reason I say that is to contrast that with I think with the logical thinking on the Democratic side is that, or the conventional thinking I should say, is that
Aren't those
those
the same? Conventional thinking and logical thinking?
not necessarily. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. No,
But
I wouldn't say so either.
but what I'd say is that most of the Democrats just don't make an effort to go out there and try to get those non-voters.
Right.
You see, and I think there's a plenty of them out there that if
No,
you
they're
do run that,
competing. They're competing for the already voters. We're competing for the suburbs. We're competing for the elderly, and so we leave
Yes.
half of eligible American voters
Exactly.
apathetic, not entirely
and
wrongly.
right, and especially when you have a lot of the young vote turnout and the new generation being so involved in politics and
Yeah,
being
yeah.
much more policy savvy.
And
That's
the
a
boomers
that's
are
a
starting
giant
to kick
swath
off.
of votes that is still going to be out there when we run whoever we're going to run, because
Later
it's not going to be
boomers.
Bernie. Somebody better pull their shit together and fill up that slot.
Yeah.